This is Indie Attack with Woody
and Kelson.
And today we are looking at Superdimensional. This game was made for the Ludum Dare 30 by Pixelmind. This is... I don't even know what I want to call this. This is a infinite runner thing?
Puzzle.
Kind of close to infinite runner, I think.
Yeah, it does involve continuous motion going forward.
You continually move to the right in various formats. That format is determined by which dimension you are in, and I believe there are three different dimensions in this game. The ice dimension, you are a rock, and you roll along the ground.
Forward, yes.
In the Lovecraft dimension,
water world, basically.
An eyeball with a bunch of tentacles, and you sort of float up and to the right.
You're basically a squid that,
And in lava machine dimension, you're
like a hot ball of iron that's moving quickly.
That moves faster.
And so the gist of it is, let's say you're going forward at the beginning of the game in the ice level, as you see, and then all of a sudden there's like maybe something's falling from the ceiling. You have to then turn into your mouse is rotating which dimension you're in.
That's the big thing to get out of this game. The controls for this game are bizarre.
Yes.
And
it's hard to get used to.
Basically, there will be a point on the screen around which you sort of create a different dimension. The opposite side of your mouse cursor will open up, and whatever it shines on, with that sort of light beam, is then in a different dimension, which includes both your character and the level itself. So if there's a barrier in your way, it might not exist in the other dimension. Or if you need to jump, you can switch to another dimension to get height, and then switch back to the first dimension to fall down on the other side.
Exactly. There's a barrier. Now the barrier has turned to water. I swim through it, and now I turn into the hot level to get over this, rock or whatever is in my way.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I get the control scheme, like if I just had a hard time with it, or if it's just like a weird control scheme.
I would say that it's a situation that is a very unique control scheme, and it's very it is temperamental. It's kind of moves
a little
constantly.
Imprecise.
Yes, which obviously Ludum Dare entry, so it's
short
perhaps
development time.
So perhaps it wasn't as finely honed in that way, but I think it's actually I played through it 3 times, and by the 3rd time I was like a master of it. Like at first it was really, really awkward and hard. By the 3rd time I was like buzzing through the level like really quickly.
Yeah, because I have a bit less experience with it, and when I was playing it I couldn't help but want like button controls for dimension switching.
Yeah,
something where it was just kind of like a binary flip, because when I was running into problems it was like weird mouse issues, and it felt like I was doing it right, and then maybe it didn't come out right, and in a way I almost kind of think this game feels like it was born out of a glitch or something. Like if this was an original idea, kudos, because this is a really cool way to do dimension shifting, because dimension shifting has been done a lot in platforming games, and it's hard to take an original stance on that. And this definitely feels original.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a perfect example of like a game born in a Ludum Dare contest that could turn into like something huge and awesome and interesting. And yeah, if the controls were just a little more, I don't think that the difficulty needs to be from like, if you found this, like I would shift my axis so that I would, let's say, be in the water world, and then it would just move. It wouldn't hold where I commanded it to. There was this constant sort of the resetting of the dimensions, and that was the most frustrating element. And I think if they just like tightened that up and then expanded, give me 6 dimensions, I mean, you could go so crazy with this and build, and like you're maybe climbing a mountain and through the different dimensions, whatever it is, I mean, there's a million things you could do.
This feels, I don't know if you played them, and I guess this is a little bit of a tangent, but this game kind of feels like a concept for one of like the Bit Trip games or something like that. It feels like you could replace the rock of this with Commander Video, and that would be right at home.
And if it would be and just it was faster, and you're like shift, like jump, bounce between things, and then hold it for the right amount of time, and then shift to the next dimension.
So personally, I don't really necessarily know if I would give this a super high recommendation for myself, because I really like all the ideas about it.
Yeah.
My play experience was maybe not matching with that,
some mechanical issues.
Like the concept so much, I want to see creators do something more with it.
Yeah, I would probably say check it out. It's definitely inventive and imaginative and worth your time. It's a very short game, about 10 minutes all the way through at this point. And yeah, I agree with you. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys do in the future.